Welcome to Lamestorming, a comedy game design podcast by two guys who know nothing about comedy nor game design. I am Ben Slinger, and with me as always is Trevor Scott.
Hello! I'm not in the host position yet today. Yay!
Switching it up.
Today our guest is Mitch Loh from the Pixel Sift podcast. Hello, Mitchell.
Yeah. What do you mean I don't get the regular host? What's going on?
You get the sub host.
I get sub host.
No, we just switched to.
I'm gonna call my agent.
I'm not sure we've mentioned this on the actual podcast, actually, Trevor, but we did just switch to weekly from every 2 weeks. So we decided to switch up the hosting duties as well every week.
Pixel Sift went from weekly to fortnightly.
Well, there you go. We're filling in those gaps for you.
Yeah, nice. Yeah.
All right. And so, do you want to just give us a little rundown of Pixel Sift and what you're about?
Yeah, so Pixel Sift is a fortnightly half-an-hour show. We go live on Twitch and we're going to try and do Facebook Live in the future. But at the meantime, right now it's only on Twitch. But we discuss video game topics, the issues in video games that week. And we usually get someone involved in the Australian video games industry. Usually that's a developer, but sometimes it can be a journalist or, in some cases, politicians. We once had Scott Ludlam on the show.
Nice.
Also, but we mainly try to approach games in a more adult manner and try to treat them with a bit of dignity and pretty much give them the attention we think they deserve that mainstream media refuses to give them.
Cool.
And that's what we're all about. And we do have a visual element to our show as well. So it kind of looks like a bit of like a talking heads kind of thing, where the camera switches to us when we talk. It's quite fun.
Yeah, nice. You've got sort of a bit of production there, and yeah.
We've noticed that you've had some ex-Lamestorming guests on your podcast as well. So.
Yeah, we do share some guest history, and I think we're definitely going to just go back through your past guests and try to get them on our show because we're basically we're going for the same demographic. So.
All right. Hang on. I'm just going to call my attorney. Because that's bullshit right there.
All right. So I think we'll get into it. For those who haven't listened to the podcast before, we grab random prompts and come up with video game ideas based on that. The main game we usually play when we have a guest on is one we call Click Pitch. So each of us has a random word generator in front of us, and on the count of 3, 2, 1, we're all going to click and get a new word, and then we're going to see where that takes us. Try to come up with something fun or interesting or something we'd want to play. So, shall we get into it?
3, 2, 1, click.
All right, I got album.
Album. Okay, I got tab.
Miniature.
Miniature, album, tab. Tab's an interesting one because there's not a lot you can do with it. It's either the tab key on a computer or it's like a tab at a bar.
I think if you just got an album of tab keys just on your keyboard and like
a photo album kind of thing. It's that tab. So it's a collectible game.
Yeah, that one's from the Razer Black Widow. Yeah. and then you need to find that keyboard and plug it in. And
there's some sort of
miniature version of it hidden around the world as well.
Or there's some kind of villain, right? Yeah. And he's very tiny. And he's stealing all the tab keys. Good luck navigating without a mouse now. And he's putting them in his album.
Good luck all you coders who refuse to use spaces to indent. You're in trouble.
What about if this was miniature horse racing? And you went to the local TAB.
Right.
And then whenever you won, the instead of collecting your winnings, you'd put it into an album.
Get the tab touch.
All right. How's that a game though, Trevor? It's just a horse racing game, miniature horse racing.
Yeah, and it's got to be miniature horse racing.
All right. Well, we need to find something with some gameplay.
No, I think big horse miniature track. If you had full-size horses, but the track that's the size of dinner plate, or
so they just have to
get around that.
Well, or even better. I mean, jockeys are pretty small already, but like big horse, tiny jockey, and then you've got a kind of a Shadow of the Colossus thing going on, where you just like you have to hold on for dear life as you're racing this horse around.
Big horse miniature. What about big jockey miniature horse? And then somehow there's an album in there, so you got to like pick the hottest 100 as well while you're at it.
Oh yeah, okay. So it's like it's a Cup Day special. Oh no, that's Australia Day usually, isn't it? The hottest 100.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not sure where we get some gameplay out of this though. How is this a game? What system is it on?
System.
Is this a console game?
Yeah,
or
the Ouya for sure.
The what? Sorry.
Yeah, the Ouya.
Oh, the Ouya. It does need some games. Yeah.
That weird ass controller. Perfect for this.
You spend more of your time looking at the
Yeah,
controller,
for sure.
just trying to work it out.
Yeah. Then you goes like, oh, does the joystick work? Maybe it doesn't. Who knows?
It's just all part of the challenge. Well, you're this
Yeah.
giant jockey trying to like balance.
Yeah.
You know, it's the same controls for when you're trying to do a manual in Tony Hawk's, but it's like balancing the whole
Absolutely,
time
yeah.
on this horse, but you're steering as well. Nice, I like it.
I'm thinking like in terms of like gameplay, you could just simulate the horse legs with your thumbs on the weird ass Ouya controller. That's like inverted somehow.
So we're bringing
Like
in
you
like
can kind of like run
Quap
with
style sort of thing where you're literally
Yeah.
controlling each limb.
it. Yeah.
And you have to just are you trying to keep the jockey on, knock them off, you're just trying to win the race, I guess.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah, okay.
I like it.
Cool. And then
I like it a lot.
We'll forget album.
Oh, somehow we've got to put a damn album in there as well.
Maybe you can fling records at each other.
No, it's just a personalized soundtrack. You can put your own music in there. So music albums, all done.
All right, I've got it. All right, the track, the race course, is a giant album.
Like on a turntable.
A record.
Yeah.
A record. And then you got to like dodge. But then you play it. No, I forfeit my Ouya idea. You play it with the DJ Hero thing because no one ever uses those things. You shit anyway. So what are you going to use that for? It's sitting in your broom. So you got to use that. You got to find, and of course it'll be on the PS2 because I don't think one was made for the PS3
Or the Xbox 360.
Yeah.
I've got it on the
or the
360.
Xbox 360.
Yeah, there you go.
You got to use that, and you got to navigate your tiny horse with a
Right.
giant person.
Yeah, well, I'm thinking, it could be one of these sort of music type, trippy, sort of psychedelic rhythm games, but it just happens that the sort of the visuals of it are you're on this miniature horse with this giant jockey balancing on one foot, and yeah, you control it with your DJ Hero controller.
I love it.
That's cool. I like that. There's our game. Beauty.
There's our game.
So what will we call this?
Oh god, we're bad at names.
I got one.
Yeah. All right.
Beauty and the Beast.
Beauty and the Beast.
Yeah.
We get that tie-in money. Awesome.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. The movie's coming out soon.
It's a crossover. It'll be like an Avengers movie. Tonight, Belle must ride a tiny horse on a turntable with a DJ Hero kit.
Whatever. They got talking clocks and fucking
Yeah.
whatever else. Like, it's not that.
Oh,
weird.
wouldn't it be great if like the record player was like sentient
Yes.
and like had things to say about the horse?
That's awesome. Yeah, whenever we can make inanimate objects sentient in these games, like,
Absolutely.
it's always a plus. Just
Definitely.
commenting on their performance.
3, 2, 1. Click.
Click.
Kissing.
Misreading.
Oh, this will be good. Mine's invitation.
Yes. All right. So there's obviously some social dynamics going on here.
Yep.
Misreading the invitation to a kiss. That's the obvious one.
Okay.
Yep. Can we take it in a less obvious?
In a less obvious
Way.
direction. Well, let's switch those words
Misreading
around.
misreading an invitation to a funeral.
Wasn't yours kissing though, Trevor?
Yeah.
Okay. I guess there's kissing at funerals, but
Is there kissing at funerals?
well,
On
you
the
know,
cheek.
like on the cheek. Just the greetings.
I'm sorry for your lost kiss on the cheek.
Oh yeah, that's totally what I thought.
Well,
Yeah.
maybe,
No.
well, just to add to the dynamics, like it's set at a funeral, but you're still misreading.
Can you imagine? So it's like, oh, granddad's died. Here's the invitation to the funeral, but you misread it as grandma. So you go to the funeral and you're like, oh, granddad. So you walk into the church or wherever you're having it, the funeral parlor, and you see granddad. Like, holy shit!
And you have to
Granddad.
figure out, like,
But like
what's
you can't act surprised because you got to keep it together. So the game is keeping it together when you think someone that had died, but they're still alive.
someone you thought is dead is standing
Yeah.
in front of you, and
Yeah.
also the emotions running through you of,
Yeah.
wait, grandpa's dead, and I thought grandma was dead.
Yeah.
So
Well,
the shock
what
of
would be
seeing
great-
grandma.
The shock of seeing grandma or granddad alive, but also dealing with the grief of the added grief of granddad being dead.
So what do we think?
Grandma being dead.
So what do we think the controls are
Yeah.
like?
Okay, I've already thought of a difficulty system.
All right.
So basically, the amount of people you've already talked to before noticing that granddad is actually still alive. So like, say you're like, oh, mom, sorry about it. Sorry about granddad. You know, that's a bad deal. And you walk away and mom's like, what the hell was that?
What do you mean? He's over there.
Or like you could comedically avoid each other throughout the entire occasion.
So you can actually get through the
Somehow.
whole funeral without realizing?
Yeah, achievement unlocked. Yeah.
It depends. So, well, I mean, one of the real difficult parts is going to be if it's an open casket, because
Oh yeah, absolutely.
yeah, I'm not sure. So is the goal of the game then to actually get this character through without noticing, because it's just going to wreck them? Like,
Absolutely. I think it's like to without noticing. So you're kind of like an omnipotent kind of force.
yeah,
Kind of.
okay.
Maybe you're grandma. And you've got to make things happen. You got to make things happen in the room because you're haunting it. And you got to make things happen
I
to
love
like
that-
steer.
Yeah. I love that the whole stake, like the stakes involved, are really
Yeah.
just to avoid awkwardness for this person.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
grief,
it's
obviously,
like a
but-
social. Yeah, it's like a social anxiety kind of comment.
You have to, or if
Yeah.
you can't keep them from figuring it out completely, you just have to make sure that they're like calm, that they're in the right position to sort of accept this knowledge. They can't be in a state of excitement, or can't be too upset, because it'll just, maybe they've got a heart condition. Whoever
Okay,
the
so the
person
real
is,
hardest difficulty is where that character has to give a eulogy.
Oh,
So maybe it's there's an
Yeah.
element of randomness. Like,
Yeah.
so there's a funeral, grandpa is alive, but someone, and it's just randomly decided every time,
Yeah.
someone who's involved in this funeral thinks it's actually grandpa who's dead. Wait, did I get that the right way around? I think so.
yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
So you get up, but like you have to kind of like funnel the character's vision so that he doesn't pan over to the right
Or just like
where Granddad actually is.
or just like possess one of the employees there to like move some flowers.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I'm thinking like Driver San Francisco style. Like you just like zoom in and you're like, all right.
Maybe
Gotta
you
take
have
control of
to
this
maybe you have
person.
to like anticipate their eulogy, and you've got a certain amount of like possession power. And so every time you can tell that they're about to say grandpa, you have to possess them so that they say grandma instead, so that nobody tells them, wait a second, why are you talking about grandpa being dead?
That is awesome. I love that. So you kind of like gotta like censor people.
Yeah,
As
there's
they're
almost a
talking.
rhythm game element to the eulogy.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
You see the words coming up, and you have to like hit it at the right time, not do too long, or you're going to run out of power.
Love
But
it.
also, you've got to occasionally possess Grandpa to get him out of, like, to stop him from getting up and moving, because he's like kind of restless and wants to keep on approaching the coffin. So
Yeah.
I actually think that Grandpa should be the one that you can't possess. So like he's the one thing that you actually
Oh, he's
can't
like the
deal with. So
wild
you got to like
card.
negotiate everything around him, kind of.
Yeah, I like that.
kind of like in there's a flight radar game and you have to there's one of those flight radar games and you have to kind of draw paths for planes. Every now and then one will come in that you can't control.
Yeah, and you just
Oh, yeah.
have
And
to control everything around
Grandpa's
him.
that. Yeah,
He's just the unstoppable force through this
I
funeral.
love it.
All right, that's cool. I like where we went with that.
Yep.
Yeah.
I think we need another one though.
So did we officially break that by coming up with a good game?
Oh, no, that happens all the time. It's awesome.
Happens all the time.
I got a name for it, by the way.
Oh, yes. All right.
Awesome.
You
Go.
are Yep, you are the name giver.
Watch your language.
Nice.
Because it seems like something Grandma would say.
That's true.
She'd be like, watch your language.
Sonny.
Otherwise, you're going to give Timmy an aneurysm.
Wash your mouth out with soap.
Yeah. Either that or Grandma in the swear jar. I like that one better.
Grandma in the swear jar.
And Grandma's in there because,
She was cremated, and that's where her
Yeah.
ashes were put because she's just so fond of that swear jar.
so it would just be like an urn, but with a dollar sign on it. Oh, that's horrible.
All right.
3, 2, 1, click.
Bust.
Analog.
Drool.
Drool.
Oh, wow.
So, all right. Bust, analog, and drool.
So is that bust as in B-U-S-T?
Yeah. Yeah, so that could go a few different ways as well.
Absolutely.
That's a...
Go for
There
great
is
flexible
a
one.
rather busty woman who comes into
Okay. So is
into
she I'm
a
trying
scene.
to figure this out. So it's like Lady in the red dress from The Matrix, or
yeah, or Jessica Rabbit.
Okay,
Okay.
yeah, all right.
Yep.
Tread carefully,
Um,
Trevor. Keep going.
I know. So
Do you piss off one social and economic one group every episode, or is that
I mean, we try.
just another? You try.
well, what I was actually thinking is you do have the people who are drooling over these
Okay.
characters, but you play the security guard trying to get them out of the way and all that sort of stuff. So
Okay.
it's that you're trying to stop them from drooling over this rather busty lady.
And you have to just use analog controls. Is that where that comes in?
Yeah.
I'm already liking this episode of this show more than Pixel Sift already. It's already happening. This is already better.
See, I was heading more towards something to do with babies, because there's obviously a lot of drool involved. The bust could still be someone busting if we wanted to go there.
Lane
but-
storming from Jessica Rabbit to babies in one sentence.
But also babies bust things,
They do.
they're just pretty destructive.
Okay, so they drool all over the analog controllers and bust them. So, it's have you played that game where it's like that competitive multiplayer game where one player plays the baby and one player plays the adult.
Yeah.
And the baby's
Mhm.
whole idea is just to kill itself, and the
Yes.
adult's idea is to try and literally
Try and stop it.
stop it and baby-proof the entire apartment. And
Okay.
it's a hilarious
awesome.
game, but I'm just imagining, okay, your job as the adult is to try and hide the analog controllers, and your job as the baby is to just drool into them.
Drool into them as much as you can. So it's sort of a physics-based game. How does the baby... Maybe it's co-op controls again, just because babies can't, Just to give the baby a bit more of a challenging role in this game.
Well,
You gotta
actually,
literally
no.
control
you
each
use, You rather than, no one can play co-op, so
I'd see some Let's Players that would tell you that you can play co-op.
okay, so maybe that's hard
That's
mode
the hard difficulty.
that you got.
Okay.
Co-op, but the regular difficulty is actually reversed controllers. So if you want to
Okay.
turn left, you got to go right. If you want to turn right, you got to go left, and if you want to go forward, you got to go back.
That's.
And
I
it's just-
mean, some games try to do that. There'll be games where oh, you got drunk. We're going to reverse the controls, and it's just kind of annoying. I think it's a bit more. So I had the idea actually. Maybe it's not even the game itself isn't anything to do with babies. It's just it controls as if a baby had drooled on your analog controller. So it's just slightly off. There's a good there's a dead spot, sort of to the upper left, and
So if you want to go left and up, then you got to go left, up.
yeah, you kind of got to
up.
just avoid it. Or maybe we could even combine the ideas, so it's just that if you're controlling the baby, it's as if you are literally using a busted controller drilled on by a baby.
Step 1, uncap your Vaseline. Step 2, not what you think we're about to do. Step 3, put it on your PS4 controller.
Yep, lube it up.
You know what? I really think that's got some legs.
All right, keep going. You got something else with this, Trevor?
I'm just wondering if, sure, you've now put in place that the mechanic is that you're controlling the game with a controller that's pretty much busted from Baby Drill.
Yep.
Do we actually have some sort of little mechanic that happens at the start where you can see where the baby sort of drilled into it, and you sort of like, you as the character have to clean it up so you know approximately where the dead spot's going to be in the controller.
Okay.
And then like,
it's getting really meta. Okay.
Yeah, it's meta, and then like, I'm just trying to think of gameplay that I'm going to want to keep on playing this game. Like, it's got to be something really, really awesome. Maybe it's...
Well, you could have really weird DLC levels. It's like navigate the baby through a factory.
Okay.
Or like a sushi restaurant.
Yeah, I also like the idea of DLC levels where it's something else that's drilled on your computer. Maybe it's your dog.
How would that change gameplay at all?
Well,
Like
dog drill has
saliva.
very different properties to baby drill.
And your character's also allergic to dogs.
Yeah, so you have to get through it in a certain amount of time before you go into anaphylactic shock.
Yeah.
And then another episode where it's been drilled on by an alien. So the longer that you actually go through, the more the acid's eating into the controller, and the more it doesn't respond.
Oh
man, yeah, I love this idea. So how
More
do we
crossover properties with you guys? It's just like you can't keep you can't keep it in one place. It's got to branch out all the time.
Licensing? That's where it's at.
Yeah.
That's where all the money is, Beauty and the Beast, Aliens.
Yeah, you got to get that Ridley Scott money.
There's a new one of those coming out too. So
absolutely, looks terrifying.
Supposedly, he's got another 6 movies in the He's got another 6 movies that he's planning on making in the Alien franchise.
So we've got sequels to this game coming up then. What else can aliens drool on that can be represented in game?
Well, it's got to be analog, right?
So you watch.
Yeah, my watch.
Analog watch, yeah.
My cash register.
Yeah.
I know it's not fully analog, but mechanical keyboard.
I love these ideas that we're crossing over with the Alien franchise, but it's literally just, what would you do? What would you do if your mundane piece of everyday equipment was being eaten away by acid?
Oh no, my DJ Hero kit.
Oh shit!
Yeah. Oh, my horse. Oh wait, hang on. No.
How am I supposed to play that horse game?
Yeah.
All right.
Oh,
all right.
man.
3, 2,
Oh, we're doing another one. Yes.
1. Click. Pledge.
Requirement.
Recycling.
All right, this is just gonna be really lame.
It's just going to be one of those like
Captain Planet, the video game.
Yeah, it's going to be a game made by the government to try to make you recycle.
Yeah. This whatever we say after this will just be ended with brought to you by the Australian Government of Environmental Resources, sponsored by whoever gives a shit about the environment.
I'm gonna speed that up so it sounds like one of those at the end of a political.
I mean, you can do that in editing, right? You can edit it later.
Oh, definitely. Yeah.
I actually thought of it as a telethon simulator. You got pledges coming in.
Okay.
You got certain requirements that you got to hit.
We got to be careful with this. Telethon's big over here.
Oh, telethons are huge over here too. I mean, we've got on the Good Friday, we've got the Good Friday appeal. So this is what I'm actually thinking. It's an actual it's a telethon simulator. You got lots of mini games that you can do, and you've got a certain requirement as for how many local celebrities you have on and all that sort of stuff. And I don't know, I reckon you could actually.
This is what 1-2 Switch should have been.
Probably.
Yeah.
And then a lot cheaper too.
Yeah, and also $15, just to get topical on you. No, I like this. So the better you do in the mini games. Like I love this. I kind of love the idea of it's mini games, but it's just all right. Here comes the next bunch of people out onto the stage. You've got the big like money ticker up behind them, and the better you play the mini game, the more money you get.
And maybe there's a mini game beforehand in which you're trying to talk the local celebrities into coming on, because then they can be answering the phones. And if you don't get enough, then your other mini games may be going really, really well, but you don't have enough people answering the phone calls. So therefore, you're not actually bringing in all the money.
Right. So it's about there's a bit of a balancing act there between just bringing on randos off the street to or like non-celebrities to answer your phones. But if you put in a bit more time or a bit more money, you can get celebrities answering the phones, and people are going to want to call up just so they can pledge to a celebrity.
So if you don't get enough money, like in the amount of time period, and it looks like you're not going to make it, does like Basil Zemplis come out of nowhere and just shake his head at you, just like, nah, not happening.
I think
no.
I think if you're not going to make it, then I don't know. You just have to get more and more extreme with your performances or something. Maybe there's a level of how, I don't know.
Well, maybe there's a difficulty rating for each one, and you know that you're going to get a lot of cash reward if you
is
have
the mining boom going on.
One.
Is the mining boom going on at the time? Maybe you won't get as many donations.
Going to take like the economic status of the country into account.
Yeah,
it's just randomized before each game.
Yeah, how's the All Lords doing?
It actually just connects to the All Lords and just checks it and goes.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Nah, you're totally
fine. Okay. So it changes every time.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, nice.
But I'm thinking, it's a risk versus reward. If you fail at something, then people are really not going to want to call in, because when you're watching these telethons, you're thinking, do I want to switch off, or hey, this is actually pretty good entertainment. Let's keep watching.
Yeah, so you can have little graphs and stuff of how many people are watching too, like to see how you're catching their attention.
And you got your little ticker down the bottom that you can just see how much people are pledging, and
yeah. You've got procedurally generated like hosts in between each mini game who just spout random crap based on how well you're going and what each sort of performance is.
I love it. Maybe there are like some celebrities that need to come and like convince you that they're famous. Because like you know how in telethon, right? They always get these actors that you've never heard of.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And then they spend about an hour trying to convince the audience that they're famous.
Because they
add that element in.
Because they come out and do their musical number or something.
Yeah. And I was at telethon in 20, I think it was 2014. I was there at the Perth one, and I was standing in the crowd and I was just watching the stage. One of the panelists was so drunk that she was walking out to the places where she was not meant to be on stage. Because if you've ever been to telethon, I'm not sure how it works in other states, but in Perth, there's one MC that there is the MC that's on stage, and they're the MC for the TV part, and the cameras are pointed at them. It's all good. Then they have another MC that's meant to get the crowd riled up and get them ready to go. And he's not on TV, so he's interacting with the crowd only. But he had to deal with her because she wouldn't get back on the panel in time for them to cut to her.
Well, that can be an element. We can bring that sort of thing into. You have to make sure that you've got, like your warm-up MC or whatever, and they've got multiple
I think you should
jobs.
play as that guy.
Right, that's your actual role.
Yeah, you should be that guy. Yeah, and you've got to like rile up the crowd, but you've also, I mean, this is in our fictional universe, he will also be in charge of like everything else.
Just celebrity wrangling, and he's actually the producer of the whole thing, so he has to choose the acts that come on.
And then he's got to put on the fat cat outfit at the end of the night. And then,
I reckon the DLC for this is Carols by Candlelight edition. So it's the same thing, but it's just like how much Christmas spirit you can gain in your audience.
Nice.
You got
I love it,
and get Humphrey to come out. Good old Humphrey BB. Does he still come out on Carols by Candlelight?
Is he still an IP at this point?
I don't know.
Hang on, let me look
Who
that up.
knows?
He's probably animated now or something.
He might have been arrested for sexual harassment for not wearing pants.
Hey.
I actually didn't realize that Fat Cat was still a thing.
No, I didn't either.
I really
don't know,
hope he's
maybe
still a
it's-
thing.
It took me a second to even remember, but
Oh yeah, that was that Channel 7 Humphrey Bieber like ripoff.
Humphrey Bear is Australian?
oh yeah.
Yeah.
All right, well, I didn't know it was exclusively Australian. I thought that might be like an Australian spin-off of
No.
Humphrey Bear. Humphrey B.
That's
Bear.
it. I think they were. I think Fat Cat and
Yeah.
Humphrey Bear were basically like mortal enemies of kids. Kids,
Kids.
live entertainment with people in weird costumes with no
You know what was
pants.
scary? You know what I found scary as shit on Humphrey Bear when I was a kid?
Yeah.
When he went and talked to that tree with all the shoes on it.
I don't even
So I used to be
remember
like-
that.
I
I
used
think
to be
I've
like,
blocked it
look it
out.
up. I'll link it later. Actually,
Yeah.
I'm not running this show. I'll link it to
Yeah.
you guys
Link it
later.
to us and we'll
It's-
link it, yeah.
It's where his like MC, his handler, is like, "Oh, Humphrey, let's go talk to the tree full of fucking shoes." That's terrifying.
I'm now imagining a game where you've got
Yeah.
all the different like anthropomorphic
Kids characters. So you got
like
aggro.
kids
Yeah.
hosts and all that sort of stuff, and they're just in like this massive Street Fighter game.
Oh,
And
yeah.
then it's like,
It's basically like the Smash Brothers of what 90s,
Australian
late
TV.
80s, early 90s. Australian kids TV. All the Saturday Disney folks are there.
so like the bananas pajamas
Yeah.
throwdown with Humphrey Bear, the Teletubbies.
They got tag
Big
team
Ted.
moves.
You'd think Big Ted would be like the tank, but actually Little Ted's got the moves. Like you can't beat Little Ted.
Oh man, like, do you know what I'm thinking? B2? I don't know. B1. It's trying to fuck up Humphrey Bear.
Oh man, I don't think we even need to click again. I think this is our next game. Like I think we're gonna follow this lead.
And do you know why? Because it's a requirement.
Get all the classic play school hosts.
Jemima just fucks shit up.
Oh god, Jemima's got a knife. Like she's just fucking hardcore.
Like all these
Stuffing
kid shows.
just comes out of all the fucking other. Yeah.
She may be small, but fuck, she just she fucks shit up. She's
Wonder
so
what-
damn
wonder what
fast.
Sunrise will say about that.
And Benita is like the referee.
No, I think Basil Zempler should be the referee, frankly.
I think whoever that is a Perth guy because I don't know who that is.
You guys don't know who Basil Zempler is?
No.
Zempler is?
I think no.
Oh, well. You know what? That's perfectly fine. Yeah, that's actually okay. Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome. Local references. All the people in the US are just going, what the
Look,
fuck?
if you're from Perth, you'll get it.
That's
Apparently,
alright.
Fat Cat's still a thing over here. Like, we're 3 years behind on all our media, and apparently our mascots are still behind.
Well, that's all right. You might
Next time-
be 3 years ahead on Basil Zemplos though. So
Oh, yeah.
I think it's about time to head into the eye of the storm.
so you can find us on Twitter. We are at Lamestorming on Twitter.
You can find us on Facebook, facebook.com/lamestorming. If you could give us a little rating on there or click like, just to keep up with all the latest episodes, that'd be great.
If you've got any ideas or anything you'd like to tell us, you can email us podcast@lamestorming.com.
We are actually on iTunes. If you could leave us a rating or a review, or even just subscribe to our podcast there, that would help us out immensely.
We have a website, lamestorming.com, has all our latest episodes.
We'd like to thank Kuradust. They've provided us the music for the opening, closing, and also the Eye of the Storm, all from the song Mount Defiance from the album Containment Failure.
And we'd just like to give a plug to Zencastr, that's Zencastr, and we use them to provide our recording capabilities for our guests. Very, very useful little tool. Check them out.
Mitchell,
Yeah, so I'm from a show called Pixel Sift. You can find it on iTunes, Pocket Casts, and any of your favorite podcast players of choice. Just search Pixel Sift in those ones. You can also find us on YouTube. Just search Pixel Sift on there. I also have a website, pixelsift.com.au. And we also go live in some capacity or another every Thursday evening on twitch.tv/Pixel Sift. So if you'd like to know more about us, you can join us there.
Awesome.
Thank you.
All right.
You can also check out all their links on the episode page on the website.
And for those of you who live in Perth, we will be at Perth Comic Con on March the 25th at 5 p.m. We'll be in the brochure somewhere in there.
And that's 2017, no later.
Yes, 2017. Yeah.
Just in case you're
Please
listening
come
to
in.
this in the future, the desolate, dystopian future. All right, let's get back into it. All
Okay,
right.
let's click again.
Next.
Click.
3, 2, 1, click. Kingfisher.
Ooh.
Dropping.
Hollow.
Ooh.
I feel
All
like
right.
all of these relate quite smoothly together. I mean, a kingfisher occasionally drops into water to get fish next to a hollow.
I was thinking, and maybe it's Pete's influence from last week, but I was thinking more about kingfisher droppings,
Nice.
and maybe you're like controlling the kingfisher, and they're actually hollow, and you're having to like, deliver things in your droppings to, I don't know, the great forest war that's going on below between
The
like
Great
the
Forest
fucking
War.
the fairies and the it's Fern Gully.
Oh,
So what, you're dropping turrets, or...?
And yeah, you're
something's
dropping
gotta change.
you're dropping turrets, exactly, Trevor. You just drop a kingfisher turd, and it breaks apart, and a turret comes out and starts attacking the fucking whatever that evil black thing was that was trying to destroy the forest.
Essentially, it's a rip-off version of the thing that tries to kidnap Santa in Nightmare Before Christmas.
Yeah, exactly. It's just like full of fucking
The
maggots.
boogeyman.
The
That
boogeyman,
guy.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it. It's like nature versus corruption in this
Nature versus Hellspawn.
in this war that's so maybe it's so we can use that as a jumping off point, but maybe it's like a Battlefield type game, except set in this very different thing where you just get to play all these different. You can play the land animals, and you're like a fucking fairy riding a toad, jumping across the battlefield, blasting at your enemies.
That's a Sunday
See-
night for me.
See, all I'm imagining now is like a Dark Souls game where you're a kingfisher and you're like shitting on, the enemies and trying to, remove the enemies from this hollow that you're living in.
All
I
right.
think that could be pretty
The
awesome.
hollow.
Like going up.
I'm very hung up on the hollow element of this game.
Yeah.
I think he's hollow because he has no soul.
Oh, we're gonna get like metaphysical with it here.
Absolutely. He's got no soul, so he's got to fill it with the death and destruction of the shit-induced violence.
This is still like a bird we're talking about, or are we going to take it literally? And it's like a guy who's
I think
literally
like Kingfisher. So you've got
so
like
so it's a fishing game, and he's
Yeah.
the king of fishing, but he
Yeah.
fishes. He has to fish to fill the hollow in his soul.
yeah,
Yeah.
Is it still a Dark Souls clone?
yeah, absolutely Dark Souls. Yeah,
So you're like running around with your fishing rod. That's your main weapon.
You're hooking some bastard in the mouth and just ripping him out, ripping it back, and just pulling the hook in the mouth, pulling it back, and you go into a massive combo, uppercut him into.
I mean,
like
there
a
are
pond.
definitely some like moves that you can do with a fishing rod that haven't been done much in games before. Like you could come up with some really cool stuff where you do use it to like pull them towards you, or you can like sort of cast it real far to, I don't know.
Lure.
Yeah, you could lure them in, or it's like you fucking grapple in the Batman game. You can just like fly around the environment with your fishing rod and reel yourself in really quickly.
All right, I'm just gonna pull back the curtain a bit here and just look inwardly a bit. I was looking for a famous fisherman for the punchline of a joke that I was about to say, and I came across an article on
Rex Hunt, right? Was that the guy?
that was the one I was gonna use. I was gonna look, Rex Hunt, he'll probably be the main character of the game. No, but like I looked up there's an article on Animal Planet, and it says top 5 most legendary fishermen.
There are 5.
Are you serious? There are 5? Rex Hunt better be one of them.
I think this is definitely a Rex Hunt, like Rex Hunt's Hollow King fishing or something, you know. Is Rex Hunt still alive? I'll feel bad if he's dead.
Oh, please be
I think he
alive.
is.
Yeah, he's alright.
This has to be on the Dreamcast, and it has to be using the Sega fishing controller.
Oh, yes. Do you think we can? Does that thing have like PC compatibility, so we can at least get it to look nice and it doesn't have to have 20-year-old graphics?
It's not that old. I mean, let's
No, I
see.
think
Have you actually
No,
seen
not
it?
quite 15. Well, you know what? It's nearly 20 years old, dude.
really.
The Dreamcast came out in Japan in 1998. It's 20 years old next year.
Wow.
That just
It
makes
seems like it was a lot older than that.
I think Trevor thought it wasn't that old, so I think his mind is blown.
I mean, I really want to play this game with the fishing controller. So, you got to cast off, and then you got to reel it in if you want to zip around the place.
Yeah, I like that.
So
I like
you got to
that.
reel in,
Yeah.
and you can use the control stick to move, and you got the buttons there, so you can do your fighting moves. But then it's got some very basic motion controlling in there.
Yeah, well,
So it should be good.
I do like the idea of, even during a combat, yeah, you like swing it out, hook it around someone's head. You have to like use the reel to pull them closer, and then keep hitting your attack buttons to keep your combo going and stuff. That's cool. Do you play as Rex Hunt?
Rex Hunt.
Do you play as Rex Hunt, or is he like the sort of wise old guy who's sent you on this mission, and you're the young buck who's coming up, learning the craft?
Yeah, Billy Hunt.
Mike Hunt.
Mike Hunt.
Michael Hunt.
Join Michael Hunt.
Join Michael Hunt on the fishingest adventure you've taken on the Dreamcast.
In the Hollow.
Yeah,
you guys forgot about that, didn't you?
yes, I don't remember what any of the words are. I'm down the fucking fishing hole.
Oh, we forgot the shit element, the dropping.
Oh yeah, well.
No, well, this is the word was dropping, right? Like,
fuck it, you just
drop things.
You're dropping people left and
drop
right.
in this game, yeah. That's what it's
All
about.
right.
3, 2, 1, click.
All right.
Ammonia.
Raising.
Written.
All right, so you have to. All right, it's a necromancy game
Nice.
with a basis in chemistry, so you have to like use chemical compounds to raise the dead, obviously. And they're written down, so whatever. We'll bring that's we've got that aspect. You've got your little recipes and things, all right?
I got a better idea.
All right.
You have to play it with the Apple Pencil.
Okay. No. Well, yeah,
Yeah.
or some sort of touch based,
All you guys
thing.
All you guys on DeviantArt with your Wacom tablets. This is the game for you.
Well, no. This could be any. This could be DS. It could be.
Oh, I'm sorry. They could also be on Pixel as well.
What? No. So you're getting obscure again.
Yeah. These are things that exist.
Sure. No. I like the touch based thing though, because then not only you have to like write down your recipes, but there's some sort of like rune based drawing that you have to do, that you have to get it accurate enough, and if you don't, the demon that you raise won't be contained or something. So you've got to risk it.
Or it only lasts 60 seconds instead of like the full hour or whatever it's supposed to be.
So what's the goal? Why are you raising these creatures? Is it some sort of?
I think
through battle.
I think you are the person that's living next door to the person raising the creatures, and you need to stop them solely by writing complaints to the building manager,
or leaving notes on their door. Okay.
Yeah.
That's your
But
only
you
weapon.
you need to create a compelling argument as to why this is an issue.
Yeah, so you can go aggressive. Stop raising skeletons, or I'm going to fuck you up.
Yeah.
Or you can.
Wham! My dog got eaten by a zombie.
Yeah, well, that's it.
That
You can
kind of thing.
go for the emotional, the emotional way and say, look, like, I really respect what you're doing here, but yeah, my zombie has a bite out. Oh, my zombie. My dog is a zombie now. He has a bite out of him, and he's trying to eat my brains. Like, come on, man. I can't live this way.
Or you are living next to a person conducting rituals, spawning minions of the everlasting darkness.
Yeah.
But people think it's you.
Well, that could just be another aspect of it. So you also, through your writing, through your letters, you have to put up signs like no necromancers live here.
Yeah. So through the written word, you need to convince everyone around you that you're not doing it and that person next to you is doing it.
We're going to have a pretty decent AI to understand what we're writing and determine whether you've done well enough.
Oh no, you just,
Or do we
crowdsource that?
Crowdsource it. Okay.
Yeah.
So part of the game is
Yeah.
all these other people. We can put it in. The conceit can be that like you join a bulletin board of other people who are having trouble with necromancers living next to them, and everyone's putting up how they're dealing with it, and everyone else gets to rate how well they think that's going to work.
So it's kind of like if. Have you ever played a game called Killing Time at Lightspeed?
No.
It's a game that it's kind of like it simulates a travel to a different world, and you experience what's happening on Earth, but like in time, in a social networking system, but in relation to how fast you're going.
Yeah.
So you can like refresh it, and a couple of years have passed.
Oh, that's cool.
In a sense, you could be on a message board, and other people are experiencing the same problem.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Like you've got an in-game, internet forum that you're part of, or that's just for people having problems with necromancers.
Yeah, next door.
You can get into all sort of like social issues as well, because maybe you get actual necromancers coming on and saying, "Look, guys, we're not that bad. You're discriminating against us. We have rights too." Your rights end where my zombie dog starts.
r/next door necromancer.
Yes.
And that is the name of the game.
In fact, we could just start this right now. It could just be all on Reddit. We'll just
write all on Reddit.
We'll just write some little bots and.
Man, I saw something shamble around. Kind of looked like a mid-90s animated character or mascot. I think it was Fat Cat. Or it might have been Humphrey Bear. They were both trying to fight each other.
Whatever it was, it didn't have pants.
It didn't have pants. So
I got to write to my local MP and get this to stop.
So you could actually have some of the necromancers using, I just have the zombie dogs. I don't, I'm not actually controlling them to actually, kill you. So it's like that whole age-old gun argument, guns don't kill people, zombie dogs do.
Zombie dogs do.
Necromancers don't kill people, zombie dogs do.
Yeah, that's true. Like, I just created zombie dogs to protect myself.
And wouldn't it be funny if oh, congratulations, player, your complaint was successful. We confiscated all your neighbors' guns.
But he's still got all his zombie dogs.
What about the zombies? Oh, he had a permit for those. Shit.
Oh, God. The Department of Necromancy and raising Fat Cat from the dead.
And then turns out you were a ghost the entire time.
Yes, you were one of the things. You were the first thing he raised, and you just moved in next door.
Yep.
And the sequel is a Papers, Please-esque sort of game where you're dealing with all the complaints from the necromancers.
Saying, we're being discriminated against.
Yeah, the Ministry of Necromancy. You have to come in and decide whether people's cases are valid or not. It pulls in all the data from the other game.
All right.
So I think we're going to move on to our final segment here. What we're going to do, Mitch, is we're going to ask you a question. What's your most anticipated game at the moment?
Oh, okay. A lot of my most anticipated games came out in the past month, so this is a tough one for me.
It's been a big month.
Oh man, Horizon Zero Dawn's already out, so the Nintendo Switch came out.
If you haven't played them yet, we can still do them.
Yeah.
But
Okay.
If you haven't got around to them.
Do you guys have to have played them?
No. We're literally just going to go off the name. So.
Okay. All right. Let's go with Horizon Zero Dawn
All right.
because I haven't played a single moment of that.
Excellent. Yeah, I haven't yet either. It looks amazing. But what we're actually going to do is we're going to take the title Horizon Zero Dawn. We're going to throw out everything you know about that game.
Yep.
And we're going to just imagine what an alternate game called Horizon Zero Dawn could be.
Yep. Okay.
So, let's do it.
All right. So Horizon. All right. I'll start us off because this is my game.
Yeah.
All right. Horizon Zero Dawn. Already by the name, you know it's got to have Vin Diesel in it.
Oh,
All
definitely.
right. Perfect.
Like-
yes.
He's always in what? Pitch Black and what? Maximum Black, Maximum Dark. I don't know what else he's in.
So is it a is it a Riddick game or it's is it in that franchise? Because that could make sense.
I think
actually.
it should come since to keep with the theme of franchising and a combined franchise kind of thing. I think it should be a combination of Fast and the Furious, Triple X, Riddick, and everything that Groot did in the Guardians of the Galaxy.
And the Tooth Fairy.
And the Tooth Fairy. No,
Was that him?
incorrect. Tooth
No, the
Fairy was the
pacifier.
Rock.
Oh shit!
Pacifier.
Yeah, there were those two movies with fucking action stars in kids
With
movies.
action stars doing comedy.
The pacifier. Okay, well that doesn't work
Yeah.
quite as well. from a,
So, like,
from a
scene,
gameplay
like-
standpoint.
Vin Diesel's like, I live my life 1/4 mile at a time in constant darkness.
And I
taking
have
care of children.
I have baby seats in the back.
Yeah, I am Groot.
I have to drive a minivan. All right, so I love it. So it's Riddick
Yeah,
driving a minivan through a world where, just to really get completely literal with the title, the sun went down over the horizon one day and didn't come back up.
yeah. You know what's really funny about
that's kind of fucked up.
Yeah.
you know what's really funny about Vin Diesel in pretty much all his movies?
Mm.
If we were to combine all those movies together, with the exception of Guardians of the Galaxy, the costuming department wouldn't have to do a damn thing. They wouldn't have to do a damn thing.
He
It's
just wears. Oh look, it's a black tank top.
Yeah.
It's a white tank top. It's.
All right, so I like this though. I like this general
Yeah.
idea. Let's sort of think of
Yeah.
how this would work.
Yeah.
So if the sun's gone, then you're definitely going to have to deal with like heat issues.
Yep.
So and you have to take care of these children as well. So that actually adds a really
Yep.
cool sort of gameplay mechanic to that. So one way you do it is just run the heater in your minivan. So you got to have
Yeah.
enough petrol
Run
to
the
keep the
heater,
car running. So
Yep.
you got to. So I'm picturing it as you sort of moving. Are you trying to get somewhere? Like you're moving across this landscape, and you have to decide whether to like leave the kids in the car with the motor running, the heater going, so you can go off on sort of missions to find more resources, or you can decide, all right, I'm going to try to get but then they're vulnerable because there's something out there, whether it's just other humans or
So it's the last of Us with more kids.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Pretty much.
And an environmental element.
But this is more around dealing with the cold. I like that mechanic. And looking after these kids in some way.
I think there should also be a very outrageous element of car customization.
Yes, definitely. You can just like mount the baby seats on the top of the car and stuff.
Yeah, and he's like, I need more NOS. Oh wait, hang on, his character doesn't say that.
I am Groot.
I'm Groot.
What I'm actually thinking is
Yeah.
maybe he's also got to make decisions. Like he realizes that the amount of kids that he's got is actually too
many.
Maybe
He can't
too many for how much food and heat he can actually generate. So he's got to
like
make that decision of
sacrifice them.
No.
like
Don't do it, Vin
sacrificing
Diesel.
kids or.
Well, because you might be picking up kids along the way as well. Like some of the missions, I'm
Oh,
thinking
yeah.
obviously procedural generated.
Oh, so it's like Pokemon.
Yeah, got to catch them all. Got to catch all them starving, freezing kids that are out there.
Timmy, use tackle.
I am Groot.
I am Groot.
And if you customize your car enough, then you can turn it into the Iron Giant. Superman.
Yeah. It's bad to kill.
But you know the most awesome part about the game?
Yeah.
Like, you can actually,
Other than
if
Vin
you
Diesel.
abandon the kids and all that sort of stuff, you can start doing like crazy stunts and all that sort of stuff as per,
Because your car's light.
one of the... Well, the car's a lot lighter, and you can
fit more.
can race other people for...
Well, you can
fit
you can fit more NOS in there.
Yeah. I'm just trying to work out a way of actually getting like XXX in there as well.
XXX. Oh, that's easy. Just put him in a fur coat. Yeah, just put him in a fur coat. That's we're done. Yeah, XXX added.
There you go.
Or Samuel L. Jackson just can come in and be ambiguous in it, and then that's it. Yeah.
I do just love this idea. Like, I'm just the visual of like your car customization where you're choosing, you've got your little slots and you're literally choosing between another canister of nitrous and a baby seat to be able to fit more children into your car. Like, that's just amazing.
I'm going to round off all the Vin Diesel knowledge that I've just like kind of put together on the table here. And it's going to be a tabletop Dungeons and Dragons style game.
Oh my God.
Because Vin Diesel is, I don't know if a lot of people know this, he's a D&D fan. He's got D&D tattoos.
That's awesome. So it's like turn-based then? That's actually kind of neat. That'd be kind of cool.
No, you got to like roll for initiative.
Right, so there's... Okay.
I'm sorry, let me rephrase that. You got to roll for initiative. Yeah.
No, so all the combats are D20 based.
Yeah. Yeah.
You start off as level 1
play
fighter.
on a grid. Yeah. That's cool. I'd play that shit.
I would too. Games Workshop.
But it's got to be a
contact me.
digital version of it, though, doesn't it?
No, absolutely
Or do you actually want tabletop?
Well,
because I really want to see what happens.
You've got to be digital so you can get all the customization stuff in there. Surely,
Yeah.
I mean, you
That's
could
true,
probably
yeah.
come up with a like tabletop miniatures game or something, but
Well, that's what I'm saying. We can like outsource it to Games Workshop and be like, look.
those mini games make a ton of money on Kickstarter.
Yeah.
Throw Vin Diesel into the mix.
And you can just imagine, like, you get into a fight type of thing. You pull over the van.
Yeah.
Vin Diesel gets out of the car, and he it sort of zooms back, and he turns into a miniature, and you can like throw the dice down onto the thing as you
like
roll
how
attack rolls and all that sort of stuff.
It would be great if it was action. Like, let's go back to the video game concept.
Yeah.
If it was action until the point where you get to combat and then you're rolling dice.
Well, but Trevor, you just gave me an idea. I don't think this has been done in a game before. The rolling of the dice should be actually part of the combat. So if you roll it the right way, you can knock over the other guys and do damage to them.
It's got to be like
with
that.
the dice. Like, there's this meta element of rolling
That's
physical
awesome.
dice.
It's like that, like the kind of like scratching the fourth wall a bit.
Yeah, absolutely.
And you could use your fishing rod controller to do it.
Oh God! Just to bring it right back around.
Rex Hunt. Yeah.
Rex Hunt is who destroyed the sun.
I was thinking you could actually make it VR so you could do it, but no, the fishing controller will work.
Yeah. Dust that off, Rex Hunt. And then Vin Diesel will be like, I'm going fishing.
Oh man! All right, I'm not sure we can.
I love it.
I'm not sure we can top that. So I think we might finish up there.
That's
Holy shit! That
perfectly
was
alright.
Yeah. Thanks so much, Mitch, for coming on. That was great.
yeah, no worries.
we got some good stuff in there. Do you want to just let us know where our listeners can find you and your podcast online?
Yeah, no worries. So if you just search Pixel Sift in iTunes, Pocket Casts, or all your favorite podcast players, it's there. Pixel Sift, if you just search it on YouTube, it comes up. We're also at pixelsift.com.au. And we also have Pixel Sift on our Twitch channel. It's twitch.tv/Pixel Sift. We go live every Thursday evening with something or other. It's usually 1 week it's a Let's Play. We alternate between Let's Plays and the actual Pixel Sift show. And we actually have a live panel at Perth Comic Con coming up. which is actually pretty exciting. So that is on the 25th of March at 5 p.m.
All right, so yeah, I'll throw those. I'll throw some of those links in the show notes as well.
No worries, yeah.
For Lame Storming, you can find us online at on Facebook and Twitter. Just search for Lame Storming. Basically, you can also find us on iTunes. We'd love if you left a review there or subscribe to us. Yeah, I think that's about it for this week. Thanks for joining us. I am Ben Slinger.
I am Trevor Scott.
And I'm Mitchell Loh.
A game where a grandma has to possess people at her own funeral?
I'd play that.
A game where a grandma has to possess people at her own funeral?
I'd play that.
I'd probably avoid it if I were you.